Hello everyone, welcome to my class. So today we are going to discuss about osteokinematics. So before going further, many students get confused between osteokinematics and arthrokinematics. So difference is simple. As you can see this joint, knee joint, when I move like this, the discussion about the movement of this bone like flexion extension is osteokinematics. Then the discussion on the movement happening within the joints, say sliding, rolling, all that. This is arthrokinematics. So this becomes osteokinematics and this is arthrokinematics. Are they happen separately? No. These two happen simultaneously. In fact, when there is a movement in this joint, that produces the movement of the bone. So it is a simultaneous movement which happens. So osteokinematics of lumbar. What is osteokinematics of lumbar? You can see this, the lumbar spine. Yeah. The possible movements of the lumbar spine are flexion, extension, side flexion and little bit of rotation. See, naturally it is not straight, the lumbar is not straight, it is 45 degrees curve. That is the starting position. So the possible movements are flexion, extension, side flexion and rotation. The planes, as you know, suppose this is the person standing looking in front, looking at you. Flexion, this is the flexion. So what is the plane? Sagittal flexion. And what is the axis happening? Frontal axis. Same thing with extension. Extension happens in sagittal plane. See, this is the sagittal plane and frontal axis, around this axis. Imagine this is the axis, like this. Then you have, so flexion extension is over, we have side flexion. So this happens in frontal plane. This is the frontal plane around anterior posterior axis, also called as sagittal axis. And the rotation, fairly simple. Rotation happens in transverse plane around vertical axis. So these are the planes and axes which the movements happen. The range of motion. The range of motion of the lumbar spine. So the lumbar spine moves 50 degree. This is the range of motion. And when you talk about the person standing and touching the toe, the lumbar goes this much and the rest of the movement is taken over by the hip and the thorax. We will talk about this maybe in lumbopelvic rhythm. So but just remember, the lumbar, the range of motion is only 45 to 50 degree. But still you are able to, your whole spine is able to move lot more. Example, a person touching the ground, standing and touching the ground. So this is just a part of the spine. Above you have thorax, cervical, and then again you have the hip. So flexion 50, extension is 20 degree. Extension is 20 degree. Side flexion, again side flexion is 20 degree. Rotation is not much. Rotation is only 5 degree. So these are the possible ranges of motion, and of course there are variations between people, person to person. This is a general range of motion which you. So one thing what you should remember is in flexion, see when I say flexion 50 degree, the distribution among different segments is not uniform. So that means what? There is maximum flexion at L5 S1 and as you go up it reduces. That means suppose when I say 50 degree of flexion, maybe 13 degree happens in the L5S1, maybe 11 degree happens in L4 L5, and then little less, little less, little less, added together will become 50 degree. Even same with the extension, maximum extension happens at the lowermost segment, and as you go up it will reduce. But overall you can remember flexion is 50 and extension is 15 or sometimes 20. But the side flexion and rotation is different. Maximum movement happens at the higher level, that means at L1, and as you go down the range of motion reduces and is the stiffest at the L5S1. So this thing you have to remember. So now I will pictorially I will show you the range of motion. If you can see, yeah. So again I will repeat: possible person standing, so possible ranges of motion, flexion, this is flexion, this is extension, so neutral position, flexion, extension. As you can see here, he is able to touch the ground, that is because of hip flexion, lumbar flexion and thoracic flexion. So what you have to remember is only the lumbar, how much it is moving. The lumbar, how much it is moving? Lumbar is moving up to 45 to 50 degree. The rest is taken over by thorax and hip. Extension, the range of motion is 15 to 20 degree. And lateral flexion is 20 degree, rotation is 5 degree. So this thing you have to remember. Now I will demonstrate the movements to you. Now, so you know that now this is flexion, this is extension, side flexion and rotation. Planes and axis also you know, this is sagittal plane, frontal plane, transverse plane. So the range of motion, as I told you, I am able to touch my toes, but range of motion is only 50 degree. The other range of motion is done at the thoracic, cervical and then hip. So when I am able to touch, that means I am going to go 180 degree, right? So hip takes up 90 degree, lumbar takes up 50 degree, thorax takes up the rest 45 or 50, whatever it is. So now you are able to reach it. So this is a complete 180 degree touching. Then now extension is 15 and then you have side flexion 20. Rotation is 5. Rotation is only 5. Why the rotation is only 5? You may say, suppose when I am rotating, I am able to rotate up to 90 or maybe more. See, 180. The rotation is not happening at the lumbar. The rotation is happening at the thorax and the hip and pelvis. So when I do like this, the rotation is happening at the pelvis, hip, thorax. Only 5 degree of rotation happens at the lumbar spine. So this one point you have to remember. Next, you have to know about coupling. This is a very important thing you should know, coupling. So what is coupling? When I say flexion, flexion happens it's a single movement. Extension is a single movement. But there are some movements in the human body where one movement is always accompanied by one more movement. This is called as coupling. Example, take the example of side bending. So when I do like this in lumbar, there is automatic contralateral is opposite side rotation of the lumbar spine. So when I do like this, there is automatic turning of the lumbar spine. This is called as coupling. One more example, in flexion. This is the neutral position, but imagine you are in flexion position. Now we want to do side bending. This time it is different. Side bending is always accompanied by same side rotation. So coupling is what? Again I will repeat. Coupling is two simultaneous movements happening together to bring about a larger range of motion. Suppose when there is only single movement, it is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because of the anatomic orientation of the joints. I will be showing with the bone, then you will understand better. So this coupling happens in many joints, even in knee. It happens. Suppose extension. Knee extension is accompanied by lateral rotation of tibia. That again I will explain you some other time. But for now, you remember, in lumbar, rotation and side flexion happens in a coupling manner, and it's different in neutral position, it's different in flexion. So I'll explain it to you why coupling happens. So as you can see, flexion, there is no issue, single movement, extension single movement. But when you come to side flexion, it gets stuck, the facet joints get stuck, it needs extra room to move. So what will happen during side flexion, there is opposite side rotation of the spine to bring about that movement. Same thing happens with rotation also happens with the coupling of side flexion. Again I will repeat and show you. Side flexion, it needs extra space, so it rotates opposite side and brings the movement. This is coupling. Thank you.